Hello guys, welcome back to Lartman Farms. It's been a while since I put out any video, and what I want to do here is to just describe a setup I have in my backyard. It's a kind of setup that anybody can build, anybody can work with, provided you have what it takes to build the system. I have seen that we have about like 7 people who have joined us now, and it will be very much interesting to see you send any message. So can you please, those who have joined us now, can you please let us know your name and probably where you're reaching out from? So maybe Accra, Ghana, or any other country where you find yourself to be streaming this live video from. I happen to be in Accra, Ghana, and in this stream, I just want to share a quick system with you guys using some IBCs. If you can see, I have with me here a couple of setups. And in the setups I have over here, I have a catfish, a small catfish setup over here, where I have about like just 48 pieces of catfish. This catfish, what I do is I just change the water twice a week, and we are feeding them twice in a day as well. So in this system, I have about 250 liters of water, and these fish, they've been here for close to about 2 months. We are averaging about 200 to 250 grams in terms of size of the fish. And then yeah, I just recently just decided to just drop this thing into it. This is an aerator. So there's an aerator which is supposed to give me some amount of oxygen, and this is something I just decided to try just about like 2 days ago. And this is just a side system that I have built for the backyard setup. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to run a zero waste kind of farm. So over here you can see a barrel over here, and then I have other barrels over there that I have kept water in them. This water is actually waste from my farm. Yeah, so I can see famous Eduro, who is joining us from Nigeria. I salute you. And I can see Kwa G, that's Montana. You are watching from Adanse. Oh, that's beautiful. And then there's also Steven from Nigeria. Yeah, it's nice to have you guys join us on this particular live stream. So I'm going to quickly try and then describe this setup. This live stream, I'm trying as much as possible not to make it very, very long, so that you can still get the value you want from this system. Yeah, so I have with me a standard IBC tank. This IBC tank, you know, if you've been watching our videos, I have just a space in my backyard. I've decided to just install this one IBC system. Now, in this IBC system, I have some tilapia over here. And again, there's still an amount of aeration. When I take this out, now you can see the fish a little bit more clearer. And I have this tilapia been in with us for also quite some time. What we are doing is also we are trying to feed them as well on regular basis. So yeah, you can look at them, and Ralph, can I get some feed? And so what we do in this kind of system is we try and feed these guys to twice a day, and then we calculate the feed we are supposed to be giving to them. And so now trying to describe this kind of setup. So I have this IBC tank over here, which is one, and then I have a small plumbing, and then the water comes into this tank. Now this barrel is, we call it a radial flow filter. So what we are trying to do is, you know, there's a lot of waste that will be generated from this kind of system in the backyard, right? The fish is going to poo and all of that. But in this system, we are trying to recirculate the amount of water we have in the pond, and then take away the waste in the pond, right? So if you can see across that side, you see some marks on the wall. That is the fish poo over there. So yeah, So I built a system, and this system is supposed to take out the waste using this kind of thing. I'll come back and then come in and explain into details. And then the water comes into this, and then now this is supposed to be a radial flow filter. So when you look closely, it's supposed to take away the solids. This is a canister filter. And then right from there, this is my sump tank. There is a pump in the sump tank which is supposed to take out all the water, recirculate the water. And then I have a couple of IBC. So the same system we have over here, what I did was to slash them into two. So if, let's say, this one, I just decided to slash it into two, and so that's what I have over here. So this is a sump tank. Now when we say a sump tank, the sump tank, every water that is generated in the system is supposed to go into a tank, and then it will redistribute the water into the entire system. So let me drop back my aerator into the pond so that my fish can have enough. You look at them, these guys would love some feed to eat. And so instead of changing the water in this pond every twice a week, what I'm doing is I'm now recirculating the water. And then so this I slated this tank into two, and then so I bought two of them, and then I just did this. So I have this one, and then I have 1, 2, 3. Now what I'm trying to do over here is I'm trying to do, the system is known as an aquaponics system. So in such a system, you are trying to grow some fish, which is coming from aquaculture, and then the next bit is to grow crops, which is known as hydroponics. Now when you join the two, then you have aquaponics. So to quickly describe what I have over here, I have just some water in this system. So the water from the ponds and everything, the waste from the fish is over here. You can see right from here, you can see some amount of water. And then I think I got a styrofoam board, right? I got about 1-inch styrofoam board, if I'm not mistaken. And then what we decided to do was to punch some holes all in the middle. Now our plants, what we are going to grow in this system are going to be a couple of leafy greens. Currently, what we have nursed some lettuces, and in this system alone, we can grow about almost 130 heads of lettuce. So that's what we are going to do over here. We are going to just drop a couple of net caps. I'll show you how they look like. We've punched holes in them, and then the plants are going to sit in them. So I have 3 of them over here, and how the system is going to run is I have a pump down here. So this is the pump, and the rule of thumb, or what you are trying to do is this system, what I've built is within the space of an hour, right? We want to make sure that we've been able to completely change the water in this system. So the efficiency of this pump is able to change the entire water in this pond minimum of once in an hour. Okay, and so yeah, then I have these 3 systems over here. So if I am to run all of them simultaneously, then I just open a valve over here like this, and then water will be entering. And then whilst you open that valve for water to enter, then you open another valve over here, which is a bit harder. Good. So you open the valve over here, and then water drops into your sump like this. So this is a split flow system. In a split flow system, what you are trying to do is, instead of the water just going into the fish pond over here, what I have done is I've decided to rather split the flow. So some amount of water will be entering this, like what I have over here. You see water entering this, and then it will rise. And then also a good amount of water will be entering into your fish pond as well. And everything is supposed to be working 24/7, and you need to recycle and introduce water and take water out of the system on regular basis. Also, we have some these ducts which would connect the air stones, and then when you connect the air stones, you can also oxygenate the roots of your plants. So we have three beds. Subsequent episodes that will come up, we may have our plants fully ready. They are supposed to spend about 3 weeks, but I decided to just run the system quickly and then maybe learn from it. Any other mistakes that I do, I just pick up from that particular end. And this is enough to grow a lot of our leafy greens, a lot of some of our herbs. So when I say the herbs, I'm talking about maybe in your house you want some mint, you want some parsleys, you want some lettuces, any leafy green, you can grow them in this kind of system. And so after now do the proper breakdown of how the system works. And so yeah, I have with me here some fish feed. This feed is a 2 mm size of feed, and I'm going to just again take out the aerator just because I'm doing this live stream for you guys to see. And when you listen to the aerator, you can see the air bubbles all trying to come out from this. Yeah. Then so now this is the fish, and you always have to make sure there are some levels of calculation that comes in there. The feed is always calculated. You are calculating the amount of waste that your fish is going to generate from time to time. In our actual episodes, you see us measuring ammonia. Ammonia is fish waste. And you can see our fish, they are looking quite happy, moving all around. I'm going to drop some amount of feed into the system for you guys to see. And you see how they are eating with a lot of joy. This is because they are always assured that their water is going to be clean. They're also assured that there is enough oxygen running in their ponds. And so in this kind of systems, normally you have your fish growing and growing very, very well, because yeah, water is entering the system. Now the question is, how does water go out of such a system? So there's something called SLO, right? That's a solids lifting outlet. And this SLO is primarily this thing you see over here, right? So I have built a suctioning. So the waste of the pond, which goes to the bottom of the pond, is being suctioned by this system. Let me see if I can open this vent cap and then show you guys what's happening over here. So if you can look through, you can see water trying to move over here, right? So the SLO is supposed to be taking the solids from the system, and then this vent cap is just here to prevent any of the fish from jumping into. And now my tilapia, they are very, very shy. When the feed was inside, they didn't really want to show up themselves. Now that's because I'm very close to the system. Also, I had some over here, and I added some new sets of fish to it. And those new sets of fish are actually very shy, and they've made all the fish in the system a bit more shy. But yeah, the feed we give them is calculated, so we know the amount of feed they're supposed to eat per day, and then we divide them into different times. And that's generally what we are doing. In a system where it's raining a lot and we have the weather being a little bit more cooler, normally we are recording temperatures of 26, 27 degrees Celsius. The fish, instead, probably if they are supposed to feed this entire cup, because of the temperature, what is going to happen is the fish is not going to feed as much. Reason being is the metabolism of your fish will slow down a little bit, and if it slows down a little bit, then it makes things a little bit more difficult for the fish. So the fish will decide not to feed as much as they are supposed to, just because of temperature. Now, moving on from here, so yeah, the waste of the pond from the bottom is being suctioned 24/7. That is, anytime water enters from this tank, water would always try and find its way out. So in finding its way out, this thing has more or less like a stand at the bottom, which suctions the water and then the wastewater runs through here. And then I gave it a 2 inches connection. This connection is not the prettiest of connections, right, into the system, but it still does the work for me, so I just have to maintain it. I made the one who normally does my camera to do this thing for me. And yeah, so water runs from this tank using this valve to just control, and then it goes into this particular settler here. Now in this particular settler you have a lot of waste being generated, and so if you want to see the amount of waste, or for us to measure how efficient this settler is, what we can do is to open this valve. So let's say this is the first filter that I have, and in the first filter, give me an elbow, 1 inch elbow. So this is a radial flow filter. Now how this filter is supposed to work is pretty much easy, and I built this thing just in a couple of days, which you can also do that if you want to. Now what happens is, now there is a bend of a pipe, so the wastewater that comes, or which is generated from this tank, will run through this line. Now when it enters into this pond, you can see that the pipe has been turned, so there's an elbow, and then the elbow goes down, and then so the water is supposed to travel down and then try and climb up, you see. But then I'm not done with the system, because I'm supposed to put another. So if you look closely, you see a lot of the waste coming out from the fish pond, right? So it comes out, it goes down, and then it climbs up like this. Now in this kind of system, we don't put any other thing inside the pond. So people put the mesh and what have you in their filtration system. Some people use the gravels and the sand and the charcoals and what have you, but I am not using any of those. I want a system that is easy for me to clean. So yeah, the next thing I'm supposed to do is to have another pipe bigger enough to cover this, and then drive the water downwards. The waste which you are seeing coming out, you can see a lot of waste coming out. That is from the tilapia solids, right? Let me see if I can get any. It'll be difficult, but then this waste, you can see them just coming out. There's a lot of waste that is coming out from. So this system is pretty much working very efficiently, because it's still able to absorb a lot of the waste which is generated in my system. Then the clean water, this quite clean water with a less amount of the waste, goes into the next. So whenever, let's say, I have to do a change, or I want to clean, or I want to try and then make sure, because these things need to be cleaned from time to time, right? So whenever I want to do any of these changes, then the next thing I do is I come here, I close this valve, and then probably also close that valve so water is not entering into the pond again. Then I come here. So you see, a lot of the waste in this tank will be settling around the bottom, but then what I've done is, with this pipe, I've also given it like a bend down to suction from the bottom. So whenever you open this, you can see that a lot of the waste is coming out, and this is how you get the waste from your system. So the bottom of the tank is always very, very dirty, and this is one of the easiest and fastest ways of cleaning making sure that your filter is being cleaned. You can clean your filter very, very quickly, and then that is good for you. So yeah, I use this. So I'll show you the next thing I do with this kind of wastewater, because you're trying to run a zero waste kind of farm. So from time to time, you have to collect the waste like this. And I was trying to get some of the fish waste for you. You can see over here, this is a clear example of the waste from the tilapia. Tilapia normally pull in long lines, and this is one of them, which is being collected using the suction system I have over there. In other episodes, I'll try and then explain probably each basic component, how they do work. So then the waste is supposed to settle, and you see there's a lot of waste in this kind of system. Like if you look around this thing, there's a lot of waste that is being generated. So if I am done putting so this is a 2 inches pipe, I'll probably have to get a 3 inches pipe, put it around it. It will direct the water downwards, so a lot of the waste will still more be concentrated on the bottom. Then I can now allow the water to flow through this, and I could have placed one of these things over here as well, but I decided not to. And then it flows right from here into this. Now, this kind of tank is a canister filter. Now, a canister filter is basically a filter that you have your mesh, you have your net. So these things are things that sometimes we use to clean plates and bowls and what have you in our homes. And if you look at it, it has a lot of the waste from the pond in them. So there's a lot of that over here. There's a lot of that over here. And how this system is supposed to work is, before I open that, let me just explain. So I have a lot of them over here trying to collect a lot of the waste in the system. Then I have a bigger one, which is this one, which is an aquarium mat, which doesn't allow a lot of the solids or the bigger solids to walk through them. Then underneath them, I have a mesh or a net. And then below this tank, we've punched a lot of holes in them. So with the holes that we've punched in them, it makes the water just enter from the top and then easily enters into this sump tank. Now, another thing I'm trying to do is I have more of the styrofoam balls like this, and you can see that we are having a lot of algae bloom in this system. Now, when you compare the algae bloom in this system to that of this one, is lower. Reason being is there isn't a lot of exposure to sunlight in this kind of system, whereas when you come to this kind of system, there is a lot because of the exposure, right? Then what is happening is the waste is being collected into this system. Now, what I am supposed to do as a farmer on weekly basis, depending on the size of my fish and depending on the efficiency of my filtration system, it will determine how often I need to be collecting this amount of waste. And then after a while, what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to so I've put the system on again because it was trying to overflow, right? So after a while, what I'm supposed to do is I put out this system, and then I clean this. So you see, you can see that there's a lot of solids coming in, like a lot of massive solids coming in. That's because the suctioning is working, and it's working very efficiently. So what I'm supposed to do is if I want to change the water in this, then I do the first thing I did, that was to open this, and then the water enters into this, collects the wastewater. Then the next thing is periodically you need to be cleaning this kind of canister filtration. Now, the reason why I didn't go for the sand and the rest is after a while you need to sometimes clean some of these systems. So I went for something that is a little bit more easy. Now, with this and then the aquarium mat, all that I need is to just get a water hose like this with a higher pressure, hold it on my side, and then just spray the pressure on these mats, which I have over here, and a lot of the waste will be collected. Okay, now, as I said, in subsequent episodes, we'll bring you a lot more updates. So what I have over here, there's something called a net cap, and this net cap is what you are going to plant your seeds, your lettuces, and what have you into them. So if you take a look at over here, we've already punched some holes in them, and then when you look at the holes that we've punched in them, it just has the chance to easily sit into this. Now, when you look at the bottom of this, there's still clear water in here, so the plants are still able to get water. Then the next thing we do is we just aerate them using this, and then when you aerate, your plants will be good to go. And so that's generally what we are trying to do in this kind of backyard farm. I have realized, so whatever leafy green I would need for my home, I should be able to grow them in this kind of system, where I'll grow some over here, some over here, and then some over here. Currently, all right, Western US. Okay, that's also beautiful to have you join us as well. So this kind of system is just a system I've built in just a small space, and I have these three systems supposed to generate about, if it's lettuce, about almost 130 heads of lettuce. And then I'm trying to also do a bit of an addition with probably putting some styrofoam board on about more than half to two-thirds of my sump tank. My sump tank, always there was a bit of some calculation that goes into this. Make sure you have a very efficient pump. You have to also make sure that whenever the system goes off, there's no way water will run out of your tank. And that is why I didn't just do this connection the way I did it. I just put in this kind of vent cap over here. Now what this is going to do is, whenever the level of the water drops and it gets to a certain point, right, instead of the suctioning consuming the entire water in the pond, this vent cap is going to allow some air into the space, and then that is supposed to block any kind of possible suctioning in this kind of system. And ever since I brought this fish over here, when they were in the initial setups, I could always see them being stressed. But now in this kind of system, my tilapia is doing pretty much well, and they seem to be more happier. I am not finding any mortality. And let me tell you the truth, I've realized that the tilapia that we have are very, 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 very resistant to a lot of things. Like, when I say a lot of things, I do mean a lot of things in terms of temperature, in terms of changes. Initially, I was just thinking the catfish that we had, or that we do have in this system, I was thinking they are the ones who are more resilient. But I've come to understand that tilapia from Africa, tilapia from Ghana, that's the Nile tilapia, and the rest, they have massive resistance to the environment, and which is very good for us, because this system I have built here is strictly for my backyard purposes. So it's a system that some of my workers, some of my friends and people who are close to me, I know that whenever we need fish and we need tasty fish in clean water, I know that I can provide that for myself. So we are trying to also let people understand that if possible, you can have any of these systems in your backyard. Just build one, provide yourself fish at a reasonable price, and then also try, and then you can also get yourself some of your plants that you can also use as well. So this live stream is just trying to show you a quick backyard system that I've built. Now let's go to the waste from this particular pond. Now again, I said we are trying to run a zero waste farm, and so whatever waste is collected from this system and then that system, what we are going to do is, you see, so if you look at this, which I just collected from this particular tank, if you look at this, you can see that in the middle of it, the waste has settled. So you can introduce this water back into the system, that is back into the entire system you have over here. But what I am going to do is, I have a grow bed. I have some plants that I'm doing them on the ground in the soil. And so what I do is I make sure I just keep the water in the various barrels, and then I'll just redirect the water into that kind of system to so instead of me using water, I'll just be using this system, which is high in fertilizer, because there are a lot of nutrients which is generated from time to time. In this kind of system, you have a lot of beneficial bacteria which will break down a lot of the ammonia, which is the fish waste that is developed. And then over a while, there's a concept known as mineralization. So after a while of oxygenating, they're making sure there's a lot of oxygen in this kind of thing, and these barrels that I have over here, which all do have some waste in them, I I am sure that my system at the back would have a lot of fertilization, which will mean that I would not necessarily need to use any fertilizer to grow some plants. In that system, I do have some cabbages, and then some tomatoes and peppers, and then different varieties of peppers. And yeah, so basically, these are just the few things I just wanted to share. These systems I'm running, the pumps are all pumps that can run on both AC and DC. What I just mean is they can run on a solar system, and then they can also run using the national grid. Now, because I didn't want to uh, destroy anything, when I say anything, what I decided to do was to prevent water from dripping into the entire the electrical system. So in this electrical system over here, now I have all my pumps, and so that's my aerator in there, and then other basic connections over there to make sure that I do have um, everything secured. Now when I'm done with this, I have to close it nicely, and then I push it underneath this, and rain doesn't destroy any of these systems. If you have any idea as to what you think we can do, we can add, you can let us know. If you have any questions as well to what I am showing you guys over here too, the window is open for you to ask your questions, and I will be happy to give you some answers. And it's nice actually having some of you guys over here, some of you guys who have been with us for quite some time. And yeah, this is just the general aquaponics system, which is supposed to be running 24/7. It runs on constant basis every time my fish is having a lot more beautiful water. And then also they do tend to feed a lot more than on regular, because I realized that because the water quality is good enough, you tend to have your fish feeding and eating a lot more as they are supposed to. So yeah, this is just a simple system that you can always build in your backyard. I wanted to see if I can get some of the fish and then show them to you, so that you look at the general size that we are having over here. There's a bit of some red like tilapia, and some people do think that this is koi. This is not koi. This is tilapia, and I got it from one of the farms in Ghana. When they came in, they were way more smaller than this. I have some scoop net over here, and let me see if I did get any. Yes, so I got one of the fish, which fish in water is this fish is making life a little bit more difficult for me. But yeah, this is the size of I have like different sizes of tilapia in this kind of system. So this is one of them, and it just moves away. And I'm telling you, this is a very nice system that I enjoy to spend some time around, and it will be better for us to also teach the younger generation, I mean kids, to also fall in love with agriculture, fall in love with fish farming, fall in love with all of the various systems that are available for all of us. So it's been nice sharing all of these this quick thing with you. I just decided to just share quickly what I have over here. And so on constant basis, I do monitor the flow rate. I do monitor to make sure this doesn't overflow. And I'm sure that during the next set of videos that will come up, you would see a lot more in terms of the next couple of developments. There's a probability I may take this live stream off off YouTube, Yeah, I'm just looking at the possibilities of any other thing. And so I'd like to entreat you guys to always pay attention, and so that whenever I drop anything, because there are some of the things that when I share, I know that they are exclusive. So when I have anything which is quite exclusive, and I think it is ideal that I share with you guys as quick as possible, I just come and I share that. Now, one of the things is, why have you put a shade cloth all around this particular one? Why is it looking black and you've put this black thing around here? The reason is just to reduce the level of algae production. So, the pond becoming very green. Now I'm trying to reduce the amount of sunlight that goes into the system, and that could be probably one of the reasons why this is more greener than the water in this kind of pond. So, moving away from these lovelies, where you guys, together with myself, and we find ourselves in this. Now I'm trying to see if I can get for myself some catfish. Good. And this is another size of our catfish, which is from this system, which is, they look pretty much beautiful and healthy. When you look at this fish, it looks very beautiful and healthy. And sometimes as farmers, we need to make sure we have some available time to check on the health of our fish. Recently, one of the fish, the catfish, was not feeling too well, and so what we had to do was to just do a bit of some salt bathing for the catfish. So what we did was we dipped some, we had some salt in the water, and then placed the fish in it for like just some few minutes, not up to 30 minutes, and then we put it back. And then after that, we realized that yeah, the fish is okay. Now, I had a spare aerator nozzle, and so I decided to just connect this into it, and then just give the fish a bit of, this catfish a bit of some oxygen. Is it necessary? Not necessarily, but I do have the luxury of having that available, so I'm just going to, use it. We don't want to have anything from our farm going waste. So yeah, we collect all wastewater from the systems in all of the barrels that we have over here. All of them are filled with waste from our fish. We are going to use that to grow our crops, which they are growing in the soil. Before I take off my leave, I would like to ask if there are any questions that you guys do have, so that I do answer them quickly with respect to the kind of system I've shown you, and then also if there are anything that you want me to do a quick recap on, I can do that for you quickly before I go. But generally, this kind of system is going to allow water enter my system from time to time. So 24/7, there is always water entering the pond. The waste in this pond is being collected. The shy fish, they're hiding over there. But then when I keep quiet a little bit, you see all of them, they will come on top of the pond. And then you can see that there's a lot of the waste from there. So there's Frederick Adria, who is watching us from Italy. Frederick, we salute you. We thank you for joining this live stream. And generally, we are just explaining the kind of system that we've been able to build over here. And the total volume of water we are using in this kind of system is close to 2,500 liters of water. And so this is a 1,000-liter tank, and then we have it full to capacity. So our fish is going to be happy. They are going to grow beautiful. And then we have a 125-liter barrel over here as well, which is also going to contain some amount of water. And then we have about like 200 liters of water coming from all of this. So when it comes to, I can see a Fabento asking, do you do this setup for others as well, or it's your personal Okay, so this particular one is just for my backyard, and we are looking at probably soon enough would come up, and then we'll be building some of these systems for people. So, for example, let me explain. Now, in the kind of systems, this is just a very small system, okay? And in this system, the idea or the concept over here is one fish, right, is supposed to give you 3 heads of your, let's say, if it's lettuce. So, if I have, let's say, 40 pieces of fish over here, I should be able to grow about 120 heads of lettuce, which I'm supposed to harvest about every month or every other month, right? And so on the commercial scale, what we can do is we can, you know, on Lartman farms, we have bigger tanks that's about like 1,000 pieces of fish, right? So I'm just planting this idea in your head. You can have a big tarpaulin tank, which is plumbed and everything. It works similarly to what we have over here. So a big tarpaulin pond. Then we can build different filtration systems depending on what kind of fish you are trying to culture. Now, this kind of system is around tilapia. This is a tilapia system. So we are going just tilapia in this. And then we have the catfish over here. Now, if it's tilapia, then the amount of waste that will be generated from our pond will be easier to collect. So you see, the thing is, tilapia pool normally comes in strands. So they come like lines. If you can see over here, you can see that there are some strands over there. So it's easier to collect as compared to that of these guys, catfish, where they are bottom feeders. So they go to the bottom of the pond, and then their waste is normally just they are not in the form of strands. They are like just small. Sometimes they form like sandy kind of waste in the bottom of your tank. So yeah, the general idea I was just trying to plant is that you can have this a bigger system that is producing 1,000 pieces of fish. Now, if it's producing 1,000 pieces of fish, then it means that you need to have a pond. So 1,000 pieces of fish, let's say you are doing 10 liters of water per fish at 1 kilo size. So it means that you need 10,000 liters of water, and then you need a pump that can pump minimum of 10,000 liters of water within an hour. And these inscriptions are always provided around your pump. So whenever you want to put these things out there, or whenever you're buying them, you can just talk to your hardware shop owner or wherever you're buying these things from, and then you would be sorted out very well. Then you buy aerators as well that can match the capacity of the system. Then if you are growing 1,000 pieces of fish, it means that you have to grow, I said the ratio of one fish is to 3 different plants, right? So one fish is supposed to take care of one, let's say 1, 2, 3. So if I have 1,000, I need 3,000 of these if I'm doing lettuces, right? And then if I'm doing lettuces, it means that every single month or every other month, I'll be able to harvest about 3,000 heads of whatever plant I'm going to work with. And that's beautiful money, because if tilapia is going to last for about almost 9 months and you are going to harvest, let's just say every other month, then you are going to look at about like 4 different harvests of 3,000 heads of lettuce. And 3,000 times 4, that's about 12,000 heads of lettuce. Do your own calculations, and then you pick it up from there. Now, if you are trying to grow things like pepper and what have you, other bigger rooty plants, then what will happen will be you probably may not do a deep water culture bed like this. This is a deep water culture bed. You can do a different one where there are gravels and what have you, and then you plant them in them to support the roots of your plant. Imani Katule says, congratulations, it looks great. Thank you, Imani. This is just one of the simple setups that we are trying to build in our backyard, and you can do same. You can teach the next generation of younger folks how to produce what to feed on. And then Roberto says, can we sign up for training specifically for this, considering beginners like us who have no prior experience? Yes, we have been doing the initial trainings, which is just explaining to people the what we call the open and close kind of system, or single kind of system, where if you have a fish in a pond, then what you do is you just come and then if this is the outlet, you come and open the outlet, and then wastewater comes out of the system. So yeah, we have we are designing a training module for this kind of system, where we explain deeper into details, probably adding how you nest your seeds, how you introduce them, because we are nesting our seeds and they are going to spend about 12 days to about 21 days. Yes. So that's about like 14 days to 21 days. We'll nest them and then we'll transplant them over here. And then the plants are supposed to spend about a month, and then we'll harvest them. Okay. So we are designing a training which we can have everybody come and then come and join, learn the various components, how to build this for your backyard. We are also trying to see how well we can introduce this in different curriculums, and a few other things as well. So yeah, I have a line pond in the earth, and I'm currently making a floating island to grow some greens. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, because if you have a liner, it means that yeah, you have checked a few things, and then yeah, grow what you can grow with what you have available. What we always have to do is we always have to try and make good use of whatever we have available to us in terms of trying to grow. And the beautiful thing about farming is you can always learn. You can always improve, learn, improve. For example, in this kind of system, funny enough, today we are running it this way, right? We are running it the way you are seeing it over here. And in just about like maybe some 3 months, we'll always tweak them. So one thing with fish farming is always make sure you build your system in a way that it allows tweaks. So if I need to tweak anything in this farm, I need to be able to build the system in a way that whenever I am ready to do that tweak, it's a bit easier for me to do the tweak. You understand? And so let's just try and learn. We'll be sharing a lot of insightful information into aquaponics farming, and then in some other episodes, I'll show you how to build a mineralization tank where we'll build a lot of fertilizer for your plants, and then I'll also show you some of our harvest from. We have the cabbage, we have the cabbages, we have the tomatoes, we have the peppers, we have different types of peppers, we have the habaneros, different colors of the habaneros, we have some Midas cucumbers as well. So yeah, we'll be sharing all of those things with you guys to enjoy. And Abna says, good job, I am impressed. Abna, these are the things that God has given to us, and so we are just happy to come and share as much as possible. Thank you very much, Efwa. And then it's been nice having all of you guys on board in today's live stream. I'll catch you guys some other episode again. If there's any other question, I'll take that question. In the absence of the question, then that would be good luck. And thank you guys for joining this live stream. I'll catch you with another episode just in some time to come. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you. Bye.